The following audio, brought to you by TSF Entertainment Podcast, may contain graphic descriptions of violence and/or audio clips of violence or sexual explicit events. Listeners' discretion is advised.
Podcast fans, it is your boy, the JUGGERNAUTOFSOLES, and we are back for another segment with the family. Everybody introduce yourselves, but y'all should already know my family. Let's get it.
What's up, everybody? RETROCG, signing off.
You signing off or signing on? What's up? It's REALLYBTV. What's up, everybody?
Sounding off, signing on. I'm here. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this week?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Last week was a long week. Hopefully this week will be a better one.
It kind of felt like it was. Yeah, it did kind of feel like it was a long week.
Yeah. I had to go back to work. I had some personal stuff going on, but hopefully this week will be a better week. So, yeah. Didn't have power last week to kick my week off, right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Power kind of, missing. Not having power kind of threw a damper in the Sunday.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Well, we're going to make up for it tonight. So we're here to talk about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Episode 6, Level Up. And great episode.
Excellent episode.
Great episode.
It was a good episode.
I'm still trying to, but excellent episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode, but it definitely made me feel some kind of way. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I got some points where I feel some kind of way too. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump on in this while Juggernaut is trying to process the. First off, I love the opening scene where how it was shot. I love that. That kind of overview of the city and whatever. So the episode starts off with Raquel. She's at the projects and she's pressing the button for the elevator. She's trying to go up to the 8th floor. And there's a little old lady that's coming down the stairs and she's like, baby, the elevator don't work. It ain't worked in forever.
Right.
And so I felt sorry for her. And she had to walk up 8 flights of stairs in heels. I'm like, ooh. But that's the projects for you.
I'm about to say that's that project life.
Yeah, you ain't got no working elevator. There's good times. So you ain't got no working elevator. You scratching and surviving. But as she's walking up the stairs, though, you hear Kanan comes on the voiceover. He's pretty much talking about, the hustle life, is how you have to keep striving, you have to keep pushing, you have to keep scratching, you have to, keep moving. You can't be, basically he's saying you can't be complacent. There's always changes. So as she gets off on the 8th floor, Bookman, I'm just gonna call him Bookman because I don't know what the building manager name is. So Bookman tell her that the inspector is up there. He upset.
Right, he's like, you gonna get me fired.
Bookman, whatever that. Bookman said the inspector is there, and he pretty much tried to tell her in previous episodes when they were talking about the apartment that, look, you can't come in this public housing. First off, you can't come in here and make alterations to the unit without clearing it through the housing authority. And then I guess every time there's a new tenant or their eviction or whatever, or random inspection, the building inspector is going to come by and survey the apartment to see. And I think a lot of that has to do with how the people are living per se, because don't they get reduced rent?
Probably how they keep in a place.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the upkeep of the unit and how people are living in it, or whether because it's public housing, so they're getting assisted living or reduced rent type deal. So the inspector comes by, check out the unit, make sure you're not in here balling out of control and paying $5 a month in rent. And so she meets the inspector, and she comes in and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a new tenant." And he's like, "Yo, you can't do nothing to this unit without prior approval from the housing authority and me." I feel like he added the me part to that scenario to try to make him, I'm the man around here. You got to go through me.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got.
Right. Facts.
And so
That's what I think too. I think he more so mentioned him because it's like, with me, it's some sort of persuasion, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it ain't. I took it
what
as
you can
it ain't
do
gonna
for
happen
me,
unless
but-
I say it happen type deal. I'm the man around here.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely think it was about some sort of dominance. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was exerting his dominance right here and there. I mean, we didn't have to go no further in the episode to know that he was trying to exert power, and that's the name of the show. And I kind of like these moments like his because that's exactly what this show is all about. It's always a struggle for power. So, she come up with some bullshit lie about, I'm a cook, I'm a single parent, I'm trying to put a new stove in here, blah, blah, blah. Because he was like, why the hell do you have a hole in the floor?
Right.
She did her best to try to clean it up. And, you instantly see him try to size her up. And she resolve this matter. And he was like, well, I need you to meet me here tonight at 8:00 in private. You and me alone.
Right.
And
he was like, and I mean alone.
she was like, what other kind of alone is
right.
it?
What other kind of alone? Right. What other kind of alone are you talking about? Right.
Right. You by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
said,
clearly,
I got a busy day today, but I'll be back here by 8:00 tonight.
Right. Which clearly what was on his mind, the way he sized her up and the way he was like alone.
And a particular time at night that he selected for them to reconvene. Yeah, 8:00 at night alone. Yeah, you know what's up. And I like how she played it off because she had this kind of little innocent look about herself, like she was down with it or she was with it. And, she kind of gave him false hope that she would be with it. So she kind of had this little smile on her face, like she was happy to oblige the request. But in reality, she started processing that comment and figure out how she was going to deal with them.
That's that Black Widow mentality.
And that's exactly what she is. Listen, speaking of Black Widows, I'm starting to have a little frustration with Raquel. I'm trying not to put her in Tasha category, but I'm starting to get a little frustrated with her. I really am, because she's moving. I'm not liking the way she's moving right now. So, she tell Bookman, listen, my people getting ready to come back to finish their work on this unit, stay out their way. He was like, did you not just hear what the building inspector said? He's like, fuck the building inspector, we working.
Right, fuck him. Right.
She don't answer to nobody. So then the scene cuts to the 76 gas station, and I remember the 76 gas station.
Right.
Famous and Kanan are out and about throughout the neighborhood. They're handing out the flyers, or they're posting flyers all throughout the neighborhood. And when I seen a little Volvo skirt by, I was thinking that was Symphony driving by, because he had a little Volvo, and Kanan kind of like zoomed in on the car or whatever, but really, he was coming up with that ideal that the idea was registering in his head that he later on presented to Marvin. But I was trying to figure out what the significance that they were trying to show us with the little Volvo pulling into the gas station, but I figured it out.
Yeah, because I said the same thing. I was like, what's this about? I said the same thing. I was a little lost about that.
I was trying to figure out what was so important about the gas station they was trying to show us. Then it switches to Detective Howard, and he creeping up on the doctor.
Right. That was very stalkerish.
Hell, boy.
Yeah,
right. I'm like,
how do you
know? Right. I'm like, how do you know who this woman is? Like, very stalkerish.
Well, I got the impression that he was rolling up on her at her job, like she was just getting ready to come in to work that day, or coming back from lunch or something like that.
I think it was. She told him, she said, what do you want? You have to make an appointment. I have people I need to see.
She had a patient she was getting ready to go see. Yep. Well, anyway, he pulls upon Dr. Nichols and basically asks her to reconfirm that. Well, basically, he was trying to ask a hypothetical question about, well, what if I had a son? You know, would they be able to donate the bone marrow, which we had already said that was what his motive was. Once he found out that Kanan was his son, that, you know, he was going to try to extract the bone marrow from him. And, you know, the doctor pretty much gives him, you know, he's, it's a 50, what did she say? It was like a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, she says 50-50 because it's half his DNA.
Right. And that they could do that procedure, but normally, like I originally said, donors have to be 18 years or older. And of course, with parent consent or legal guardian consent, you know, there's exceptions to that age restriction. So
Right.
what do you think he's getting ready to do here?
I don't know.
I think what we mentioned last week.
I think it is too. I think he's going to try to strong arm Raquel.
He's gonna try to smooth talk. He's gonna try to smooth talk Raquel. I really think.
But that's the question: is he going to try? Is he trying to smooth talk, or is he going to strong arm her? That's the question.
I think he's going to strong arm her.
I think he's going to try to blackmail her.
I do too.
Yeah, because if he can prove custody and he blackmail her, then I mean technically, Kanan would be warded to him, you know, and Raquel will go to jail.
I don't know if it's going to go that far into it.
I don't think it will go that far, but you know, technically.
I think he's going to threaten to reveal to Kanan that I am your father if she doesn't convince him to buy into the donor, or if she doesn't sign off on him being a donor. So we're going to have to see where that goes, but I think that's exactly what his reproach is going to be.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be some blackmail.
Yeah, or some extortion attempts at least. So then we get to the showcase, the venue for the showcase. You know, the workers, everybody is there trying to get set up for the showcase for that night. You know, everybody's trying to get the room set up and get the equipment unloaded in. You know, Lulu and Jessica, they come in, you know, and she's kind of basking in the moment where she's like, oh, none of this would be happening without you, and you the man, and blah blah blah. And Lulu was like, well, I'm just the money man. She's like, no, don't look at yourself just as the money man. You're the man that's making this happen. Like, you running this. So she's still trying to gas his head up a little bit. She's still trying to get him to see the bigger picture of what's happening with this venue. And then instantly you start seeing people come up begging for money. Everybody's coming up like,
yeah,
oh, I got to get paid for this. I got to get paid for that. I'm the vendor for this. Exactly. I'm like, this Camacho is a creep, though. He is a creep.
Yeah,
I feel like he was sending everybody over there for money.
That's what I thought.
Like,
hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
I don't even think that it was the fact that he didn't. Well, I'm kind of torn between this because I feel like he probably didn't have the money to pay the folks, but I mean, it just seemed like he didn't make any kind of attempt to try to pay these folks or anything. He just sent them straight to Lulu, and all of them come up literally begging for money.
Right, because it's almost like, Lulu, like, I get it that you paid off the engineer, you did all of that or whatever, but did y'all not have a conversation about exactly how much money this man owed? Like, did y'all not, you know what I mean? Like, he was just blindly giving up money.
He was just paying the workers at the studio, right? I didn't think that this was going to extend to running the showcase. Like, I got to pay for the light people. I got to pay for the sound people. I got to pay for the security. I got to pay for the wait staff. Like, he literally paid for all the vendors.
Which again brings me back to the beginning of all of this, where was this a real thing or was this bullshit to begin with?
It probably was going to be bullshit to begin with because he didn't have the money to pay for the work.
Right. Because I'm just like, this is wow. You know what I mean?
He ain't have no money. I mean, he ain't got two nickels to rub together. A pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of at this point. Like, he need to step off. But I feel like I'm kind of torn between why he doesn't have the money, because obviously they're trying to show us that he's an addict. He's a junkie. So are we left to assume that he's spending all his money on drugs? If that be the case, isn't he spending it with Lulu anyway?
It's probably a combination of the two. It's probably drugs. But it's also probably mismanagement of what he does have. You know, the music industry is fickle. You
Or
know what
what
I
they're
mean?
trying to show us is that he just blow through money, period.
Maybe.
Yeah, because part of it seems I want to lean more drug angle because they're constantly showing him using. They're
Right.
constantly showing him, Lulu's. Every time Lulu came over there, he brought drugs for him. At the
Hmm.
showcase, he was smoking a lace blunt, which we're gonna have a lot to talk about with that lace blunt. Uh, and so maybe it's just that he's got bad habits, and like you say, with the music industry, it's a costly industry to be in
Hmm.
already, and the fact that he's not managing his money already, I mean, I guess it's a combination of all that. But Rock kind of peeps a little bit of what's going on. She walks up, her and Lulu are trying to have a conversation, and she's not really feeling this whole showcase thing.
Not at all.
She's not as negative about it as Marvin would be, per se, if him and Marvin were having a conversation. But you could show her disinterest in it. She's more so interested in it as a potential venue for them to serve. Like, cause she even asked him,
Right.
she was like, "Do you got a crew together to serve tonight?" She was like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah, I want this clean. I want this venue clean." And a part of her should have want the venue clean because, like, y'all kids finna be here. Y'all should want no drama. Y'all shouldn't want nothing popping off at this event because y'all kids are here. You know, and so she's trying to tell him that you spending up all on my money, our money. He was like, "This is my money." She was like, "Well, your money is my money." So,
Right.
and he's trying to tell her, which I've said in earlier podcasts, that they don't have no legitimate way to wash their money, to clean their money.
Right.
So his comment to her, like, Rock, this could be more than just that. This could actually be something for us to fall back on for legit money. And she kind of gave me a Tasha moment where she wasn't feeling that. She wasn't feeling that ideal
Yeah.
about having a opportunity to have clean money versus dirty money. So what y'all thoughts
Right.
were about that conversation?
I agree 100%. That was the first time that I saw that strong of a parallel with like to a power book one situation. I mean, other than the obvious, the drug dealing and all that, but that conversation was just so very reminiscent of Tasha and Ghost when he wanted to go legit. So yeah, I definitely saw that.
And the thing about it is, though, in this case, I don't even get the impression that Lulu wants out the game. He just wants to use it as a segue or as something to fall back on. That we can have both. We can have a legit business that's
Hmm.
thriving as well as the street business. Either way, we have something else to put our name on.
Right.
So, and of course, she had to throw up in his face, because he pretty much told her he didn't want them dealing there tonight. So then she
Right.
was like, "Well, what about Unique? You best believe he gonna have somebody up in here dealing."
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And he was like, "Well, Unique ain't dealing in here either." And so then Crown come up begging for some more money about the vendor, and she was like, "So you just paying all the bills around here, or whatever? Like, go spend
Right.
up our money."
Right.
And then he kind of sized her up. He was like, "Oh, I ain't seen Rock in a minute, yo. She looking all shapy." And Lulu kind of looked at him like, "That's my sister you talking about, yo."
Right. People be cracking me up. Like that is his sister.
So we know that from that look alone that Crown ain't finna be with us much longer. Given this current situation where he's exploiting Lulu at this point, and I think he's taking generosity, kindness for weakness, so to speak. Like, listen, I paid your workers to settle that debt for you because your workers was pretty much getting ready to walk out on
Hmm.
you. So I gave you that favor, but that didn't
Right.
mean that I was going to pay all your debt. And
Exactly.
going forward, I'm gonna pay all your debt. So to me, I feel like he's using Lulu at this point. He's exploiting you, Lulu. Now, if you put a deal on the table, say, "Yo, let's go into business together. We can be partners or whatever, whatever." You give Lulu something to feel like he's investing in. At this
Right.
point, all he's doing is paying your debt because you can't. So I
Because
feel
you a
like at some
cokehead.
point he's gonna be up out of here.
Yeah.
I really think he's gonna be up out of here. So you have the next scene, Bert, she's coming into the station and the captain calls her into the office and pretty much tell her that, look, Detective Howard has called out sick. He's been working here 25 years. He ain't never called out sick. Like, what's going on with him? and he was pretty much telling her to stay in for the day,
Right,
work the
right.
desk. And she wasn't trying to hear that. She was like, well, I got a couple of things I could do out on the street, low key or whatever. And then, of course, we've been hearing this all throughout the series where, Detective Howard's kind of been throwing shade at her that her family had been in law enforcement prior to.
Right.
And that's why she has a job. And then the captain kind of confirms, he's like, well, I told you, Dad, I would look after you and make sure that you were straight or whatever. But, it seems like she wants to try to come into her own.
Yeah, she does.
She wants to come into her own. Now, what side of the fence she's going to be on, I haven't figured that out yet.
You don't think she's going to be righteous, cop?
Maybe. And I'll tell you later on what I think.
Or you think she's going to be, book 3 sacks?
She's not going to be a Cooper Sacks. She's going to be a bit of an Angela Valdez, so to speak. And I'll unpack that a little bit later when I get to that scene. There's a reason why I feel like there's going to be something extra with her, and I'll tell you why in a little bit.
Yeah, we might be on the same page with that.
I think we're on the same page too.
Yeah, I got something to add to that later too.
I got something to add to that. What you say, put 10 on 20? So
right,
I got a little something to put 10 on 20 on tonight. So we'll see. I might be reaching a little bit. We'll see if me and CP on the same page.
I might be reaching too. Okay, all right.
All right. So then we get to the tailor shop, and we see the little guy up front that running the boutique, the little tailor shop. And he tripped me out when he see Lulu coming there. He took my silk 2-piece. He was like, hey, you either lost or crazy. He's like, what you doing up here?
Right.
He's like, I'm here to talk to Unique. He's like, about what? He all knows this shit. He's like, about what? He's like,
right. He's talking about, exactly. I don't talk to the help. Like,
he's like, I don't talk to the door. Right.
Right.
That's exactly what he is, too, the doorman.
Doorman.
So he frisked him down real quick, and he let him go on in the back, talk to Unique. And Unique and his boys are sitting back there, and this is his lair. And this kind of puts me in one of those old superhero type movies or TV shows where the villain is always shown at their lair. Like, you almost hardly don't see Unique anywhere else but this
little area. Clubhouse type thing.
Yeah, this is a little clubhouse. This is his safe place, because you don't hardly ever see him anywhere else but here all the time in the back room of this tailor shop. So this is his war room. This is where all his planning and everything. And we see that he's definitely a step or two ahead. Now, initially when I saw in the preview that Lulu was coming over here, I thought it was for him to try to, settle down some of the beef between him and Raquel. I figured that he was taking a stab at going to approach Unique and try to see, can we put some peace back in between? Because, so much has happened up until this point. Right. So I feel like, I initially thought he was going over there to try to make peace and, try to see if we can get things, somewhat back in harmony. But no, we saw him go over there to tell Unique that, he wanted no drama at the showcase tonight. And he wanted, it to be peace, no drug dealing, no violence, no drama. And, Unique pretty much was like, there was a message, and Lulu didn't catch the message that Unique was trying to tell him. He was like, look, what's real? Like, in the streets we beefing, but behind closed doors, y'all trying to come over here and smooth things over. But, my people are dead. My people are dying. Mm-hmm. And he's like, so here we are beefing with each other, but yet you want to come and ask me for a favor.
Right. Which I thought that was kind of bold.
I thought that was very disrespectful. I mean, I'm just going to be 100% honest with him. And I'm Team Rock over here, but I really did find that to be disrespectful. But at the same time, there's a lot of tit for tat. And I'm almost to the point where I'm getting tired of the tit for tat. Like, we get it, they're rivals at this point. But, I'm just ready for, one to win, one to stand, one to fall type deal, because I'm tired of this constant tit for tat. You rob me from my stash, I rob you for your stash. You kill one of my guys, I kill one of your guys. Like, I'm tired of this tit for tat element. Like I'm ready for it to culminate to an end game at this point. And so he pretty much agrees that they're not going to shoot up the place. He's like, I'm down if Rock's down, but we know that he was lying. And
Right.
so he had one of his dudes in the back, which was kind of funny because he actually told the guys that were in the presence of Lulu that y'all not going to do nothing at the place. You know, it's on peace tonight, whatever. But he didn't speak for the rest of the group, you know, that was in the back, which was Warrell and Scrappy. They were in the back. So when they come out, he was like, you and this Team Switch nigga, y'all finna go light this showcase up.
What do you call him? Call him a turncoat?
Yeah, that's what it was, a turncoat. That's exactly what he called him. It's turncoat nigga, y'all finna go light this place up. While he had a little man in there cleaning his Air Force One. He was like, y'all finna go light this place up.
Of course you noticed that.
We always gonna notice the sneakers, Crystal.
He definitely had them Air Force Ones on.
So, what do y'all think about this? I mean, Unique is up until this point, I found him to be a man of his word, but it seems like he's doing a little reneging on his word now because he did promise Lulu that they weren't going to have no problems up there. But at this point, we're enemies. Like, we're not friends, you know. So I don't know why you think you can come over here and ask me for a favor. And he told him that. Like, I don't understand how you think you can come over here and ask for a favor. Like, you got some audacity, you know, to come over here and ask me for a favor after what y'all done. So what do y'all take from that?
I mean, I feel the same way. I feel like Unique. I guess I'm just not sure the game he's playing at this point because I think he feels like they're not trustworthy. So why should I? You know, because we had a deal about the corners. Like technically, Rock reneged first.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't her. It was her son. But they had come up with an agreement. They had made an agreement.
Yep, that's true.
I gotta agree with you guys.
That's true. All of that is 100% true. So what's happening, and it speaks to how things can just get out of control real easy, because they had a conversation. It's just like when she told Gabrielle, she was like, "We shook when we negotiate, we shook hands. When we renegotiate, we throwing hands." So after they had just came to that agreement about the corners, the same day, one of my guys gets shot up on the corner that you gave me.
Right.
And there's no explanation to how that happened. Like, Raquel should have took her ass back over there and like, yo, I need to make this right for you because my son acted out of impulse. You know, he came over here and shot up the corner not knowing about our agreement. You know, she should have gave up her weight to him for a couple of shipments. Like, she should have done something to try to rectify the situation, to put that peace back in, that harmony back in between them, because at this point it's a unique situation anyway, because you got both of them that are competitors that are getting their product from the same connect. So, you know, at some point they have to have some type of business arrangement for them all to be working like this in harmony, which we see come to an end this episode.
And I don't even understand why Lulu, like, I don't even understand why Lulu thought that Unique would be open to any type of truce for anything. Like, I don't even know. Like, he had, like, Lulu. I mean, I just thought that was weird that Lulu would even expect that.
Well, I guess because he was trying to make it like a Switzerland type situation where, you know, everybody, let's come to the showcase and have a good time. These kids are going to be here. Like, I don't even think he was approaching it from the drug aspect as much as it was from the violence aspect. Like, he just didn't want nothing to pop off there. His girl going to be there. You know, the family is going to be out. You know, I think he just didn't want nothing to happen to anyone at the show.
I understand that, but I just think that was a really big ask.
Yeah, that was a very big ask.
Now, it'd be different if it... I could even see if it was... Like, what he probably should have done was sent Camacho down there. Because I think it would have been better coming from somebody like him rather than coming from Lulu. I don't think... I mean, I don't know. It just... To me, I just thought that was some bold... Like, y'all legit are at war, and you just straight up walked up in my place of business asking for a favor. Like he said, like, y'all real bold asking for a damn favor from me right now. Like, that's some bold shit.
I feel like he shouldn't even took his ass over there to begin with.
Period. That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, he should have... If he really wanted some sort of truce for the night, he should have sent Camacho, because at the end of the day, it's still his business. It's still his company. Like, nobody really knows that Lulu is the one paying the bills at this point. Send him down there saying, listen, I know it's been a whole lot of shit going on in the streets, but I got this work, I got this showcase tonight. I'm inviting people from all over the city. It's gonna be, rival crews there. I'm just asking for no violence. I'm just asking to keep it real, real nice and peaceful tonight, for my artists. Like, I feel like, and
Right.
that still
That
don't
makes
mean that
sense.
Unique would have done it, but I
Right.
feel like that would have been better coming from him.
He may have received it better, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because what you asked him not to do, you just told him what to do.
Yeah.
Basically. So you see Marvin pull up on his little crew, his little foot workers, his little street workers.
Hold on a second. Before we start on Marvin, I do like the fact that he went from the red Benz to a blue one. Blue is my favorite color, like no cap.
Blue is my favorite color too.
When I saw
like
that, I was like, okay,
I like
Marvin.
that color too.
Like,
did you not miss that in last week's episode?
Yeah, they did. He did have it last week, though.
I talked about it last week. I talked about him getting a new car last week.
Benz last week, but I think I did miss the color.
Yeah. So yeah, Marvin got a new whip now. Yeah. So Marvin meeting up with his crew to, find out about the re-up. And they pretty much told him that he ain't get no re-up. And so, Marvin trying to figure out, like, what the fuck going on? What do you mean we ain't get no re-up? At that point, he just lead the crew out there on the street. And he going to go try to find out what's going on with the re-up because, they running low. And so he heads on over to...
like Rock said, they always running low.
They always running low. But then you switch to Raquel house. She giving Kanan a haircut. And this is a time. One thing I like about that is, like, even when she's upset with him, she still do what she need to do for him as a mother, as a parent. Even when she about the whole symphony thing. She uses opportunity to bring the conversation up for them to have a conversation. Of course, Kanan comes clean about it. And he tried to tell her there, like, look, Ma, this was me. Don't blame him for this. This was me. I told him not to tell you. I didn't tell you. It was Symphony's place to tell you. It was mine. And I don't understand why she upset with Symphony about that, because it wasn't his place. Like, it wasn't his business. And she had already told him one time before to stay out of his business. Now, my better question would be, would she have been mad if he didn't go?
Right.
Like, do you think she would have been upset if she did go and Kanan called for her?
I think her expectation as mother/girlfriend was, my son call you, you call me. I think that's the expectation. Because I feel like if Symphony had called and said, hey, Kanan, he got hemmed up by the police. He called me up. I think secretly she would have been happy, because in her mind she'd have been like, okay, they're building a relationship. But the fact that she's on
the outside
out
of
of
all
it.
that. She's on the outside
because
of all
again, I understand. Like, I think she might have done a whole lot at the end, but I absolutely understand her anger. I absolutely, because if that's my son, yeah, you don't go pick my son up from the police station and you don't tell me that you picked my son up from the damn police station, because again, especially considering the line of work that we're in, like, what we do, like, it's deeper than just, oh, my son was being hassled by the police. It's deeper than that. So I think even if he had said, listen, Kanan just called me, he's down at the station, she might have let him go pick Kanan up. But I think just knowing, it's just,
That's a different perspective. I didn't look at it that way. That's from a woman's perspective. So that's what we needed to hear, because I totally didn't catch that. But you're right. When I hear you explain that, it absolutely makes sense that that's what she would be upset about. I mean, Marvin, what's your thoughts?
I agree with Chris. I agree with Really B on that one. I do also think that Rock has to always be in the knowing. And that's a big problem to have. Like, she don't want nothing to go over her head, and if her camp knows about it, damn it, say something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
she's
definitely a control. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. And he was trying to explain it to her, and he was like, "Well, how you even found out about it?" And she was like, "Scrappy told me." He was like, "Oh, Scrappy the ops," and she was like, "No, Scrappy not the ops. You are." you know, because and she was like, Kanan, you keep lying to me, you keep keeping things from me, you keep acting like a little kid. Now she was right about that part. She was right about that part because the things that keep happening, Kanan, is because you keep keeping me out of the know of what's the fuck going on. You keep doing all this dumb ass shit and hiding shit. You making problems for the family. You making things worse. And I don't know why she just don't come out and tell him that, because that's exactly what he's doing. Every step he makes, it's to fuck up something. That's not his intention, and that's not what he's intending to do. But because he's getting in the middle of grown folks' business, he is creating bigger problems for the family that they don't have the soldiers to deal with.
She probably did, like, real talk. If you're gonna bring him in, like, and again,
it's
keep going back
to sit him down and explain what's the 411.
Absolutely, and I keep going back to that first night where he shoots up the corner. He's basically set off this fucking war, and he act like they're wrong for not including him. And it's like, no, you're wrong because it wasn't your fucking business, and I told you to stay out of it. And I felt like that night, and again,
she was gonna get him together then that night on What's Game.
She should have.
Right.
She should have.
And
especially when she took him out there to go shooting. That should have been the time right there for to have that conversation. So I agree with you on that, CP.
Yeah, and again, I keep going back to how naive are you? Like, you can't. I mean, he can, obviously, because that's how they're making him. But it just frustrates me that you want to be a part of something that you not only have no concept of, but you take no ownership of your part in it. Like, he never wants to be like, damn, I fucked up. I have yet to hear him say, damn, I fucked up. Even after D Wiz got shot, it's still not his fault.
Right, he a fucking live wire, and then I think
he is a bit of a live wire, but you know what? What gives me pause on all that, and the reason why I'm not as irritated with you as you are, CP, because those things like that irritates me too. The title of the show, Raising Kanan. We're raising them. So at this point, this is what I expect for him. This is what I expect of the character. Now, if the title would have been Power Book 3 Kanan, then that would have been a whole different perception of what I would expect to see Kanan as. But because they have the Raising Kanan part in there, I expect for him to be a live wire and a fuck up. And that's exactly what they have shown him to be since the first episode.
True.
Right.
That's true.
But do you think that with all the things that's going on, and we in episode 6 now, we've seen the certain things that has happened. He made that decision on his own. Like, okay, I'm on impulse. And instead of Rock kind of, like you said, checking the situation, she took him out there and did some shooting. She low-key put a battery in his back.
She did put a battery in his back that night. She put a battery in his back that night that she tried to take out the next day when it's time to send him to school. She put a battery in his back that night when she took him out here and showed him how to handle a firearm and how to protect himself in the streets and all this, because she had no choice. It's like what Lulu and Marvin told her that night when they came over to the house after they had shot up the house. There's no way you're going to be able to hide him from this, and his mom not going to be able to protect him. So in other words, she should have handed him off to one of them at that point and let them have a man-to-man conversation with him about what the repercussions of what he has done. But
I agree with that.
She instantly puts a battery in his back by taking him out there. He thinking that she would get ready to take him to grandma's house like she threatened to do. And what she did, she took him out here to the beach and let him shoot up the place. Okay,
and I also think. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I also think he may have even misinterpreted that, because
exactly.
At that point, he thought he was in. Like, I'm in now. Like,
she was with it.
But
the next day, when it's time to send him off to school, she's trying to tell him that he needs to use fear, and he needs to be guided by fear in order to stay alive. So, there's a bit of mixed signals. I'll give you that. There's a bit of mixed signals, because I think in her mind, she don't know how to process this herself. That's not what she wanted for him, but yet here we are. This is where we're at.
And I feel like I was like what you just said is what I feel like I expected. That first night, after they shot up the corners when they were all yelling at him, I absolutely expected, maybe not Marvin, because I don't think Marvin has the bandwidth to do this, but definitely Lulu, sit him down and say, listen, this is what you need to understand is going on now. Because of what you did, this is what's happening. And now your mom has to, well, we as an organization or however they wanted to word it, now we got to maneuver the fuck out of this just to make sure that you're not murdered because street code says you're supposed to die.
Yep.
Street
Right.
code says street code says that your mother is supposed to turn you over
Yep.
to them.
Yep.
And we know she's not going to do it and we're not going to let her, but you need to
Right.
understand how serious this is. Like
Right.
I'm with you.
Basically,
I feel like if that conversation had been had, even if Kanan continued to just be a dumbass, I would have at least been like, well, they talked to this nigga. But I feel like he got off real easy. I feel like they didn't. I just
They're
feel like
babying
even after
him. They're
he,
babying him at this point.
yeah, they are.
They're
They
babying him.
are.
Or at the very least pandering him. You know, they're trying to make it seem like, you know, his actions are not that big of a deal when in reality
Mhm.
they are.
They
And
really
so,
are. And like you said, the rest of everything that's going on now is a direct connection to what he did.
Mhm.
Everything.
or
Yep.
continues to do.
he put
Yeah.
a green light on all their asses.
Yeah, he put
Yeah, he did.
on every problem that they're faced with right now, including the stash house. The reason why they're low on weight right
Yep.
now is because of him. Because he had no business inviting that little girl over there to that stash house. I mean, all of it
Mhm.
it ties right back to him. And nobody telling him, well, Scrappy tried to tell him no better, but he don't respect Scrappy. See what I'm saying? His own cousin tried to tell him right. He don't even respect her. You know, so he not listening to nobody. You know, the people that he has admiration towards, obviously his uncles and his mama, those are the ones that need to be having this conversation with him about
Mhm.
his movement and his action, and none of them are. So we switch to the next scene. You see Jukebox laying up at the house, and you know she looks kind of bored. She
Being
looks
all
kind of
sad.
sad and down and out, and her doorbell ring. Now, when I heard the doorbell ring, I thought it was Kanan coming over there to apologize. Because you remember we had said that,
Me
I
you
knew
too. I
know,
exactly.
did too.
her and Kanan were going to
I
have to
knew
try to
exactly
get
who
back
it
right.
was. I knew it was
And
her. I knew it was
you
Nicole.
knew it was Nicole?
I felt like it was. I mean, I thought
Yep,
it was.
it
I didn't think it
was.
was Kanan because I didn't think it was Kanan because, and I don't think Kanan would have ever apologized if it weren't for the situation under which he apologized. I don't think he would have ever apologized because I don't think he thinks. I don't feel like he thinks he ever did anything wrong.
No, I believe he knew he did wrong. He just didn't know how to address it.
Okay, that could be it too. But I didn't think he was going to apologize. So
Because
yeah.
sometimes let me tell you about the pride of a pride of a man. You know,
Yeah.
when some of us have a very strong pride about themselves and know that they don't sidestep and know that they don't done wrong, and they know that they need to make it right, but they're kind of waiting for a moment to activate them to apologize.
Okay.
Some of us don't have the ability to come out and say, yo, I fucked up, I'm wrong, I did this. Some of us know that we need to do it, but we're looking for the right opportunity to do it. So I think Kanan was per se know he needed to apologize to his cousin. He knew he needed to make it right, because even if you listen at the little story that they tell, they've been rocking together for a long time, and they ain't but a year apart in age. So
Right.
And if you listen, Kane had been fucking up for a long time because
exactly,
in that story, it was his fault.
exactly. And just like what in their adult life, you know, she told him, don't fuck this up. That's why she didn't want to let him in on her. Remember when he first got over there, it was starting to get better when he was in power, and she was trying to plan a jury heist, and she had the workers over to her house, and he was trying to get involved in. She was like, no, I don't want you involved in my business or whatever. She knew probably then he was going to fuck it up, and he kind of sort of did.
Right.
Because he ended up killing one of her workers.
Like, nigga, you just like my dad.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, Kanan definitely is Marvin's nephew. Like, that is clear. They are connected.
You're so stupid. So Nicole, it was nice to see Nicole came over there and check on Jukebox. So
I liked Nicole's hair. I like that straight look on her. It was cute.
She cares more about Jukebox than her parents' wishes, and you know, I found that to be very admirable of her. That, you know, she would go against her parents' wishes of seeing this girl, let alone come all the way out here to the hood by herself to see her. I mean, that really just spoke volume to what she feels for Jukebox. So I really was digging that moment, and that really made Jukebox happy to know that she came out there to see about her.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like, I don't think people understand how big those little gestures mean. Those little gestures, it really means a lot. So yeah,
Because
that
she probably
definitely,
had come to resolve that she would never see that girl again.
Right,
She
right,
absolutely.
wasn't
facts.
expecting to see that girl no more.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, absolutely.
Because you could see she was shocked to see her. Not only did she come all the way out here, but she at my house. You
Yeah.
know, so that was nice to see that happen. So we switched back to Raquel and her brothers at the house. And God darn, Marvin, you eat all the time, man. God, Lee,
And you
every
like
scene you eat,
Chinese food. You love some damn
every
Chinese
scene, Marvin,
food.
you eating something all the time. You hungry now? Marvin eats every episode. I swear, every
Every
episode,
scene in
every
every
scene.
episode. But
Yes,
remember, they said that at the beginning. Remember that was when 50 Cent was narrating at the very beginning, first episode,
they
and they was
did say that,
he
but
was
I didn't think it was gonna be like this. But
right, and
my God,
he was describing his Uncle Marvin, and he was like, he always got something in his mouth, like he always eating.
he always eating. He is. And so they up here at the house trying to figure out, or they've been fucking with Dean for 5 years, and they're trying to figure out why they ain't got no re-up. But this ain't the first time they didn't get a re-up, so I don't understand why this one came as a surprise to them, because the one before that, when she went up there the first time, they hadn't got a re-up. And
But they knew why the first time. See, this time she didn't realize that he had found out what she had done.
so this is all her fault right here, though.
Oh, this is 100% her fault.
Yeah, this is her fault. Because she's like some shit going down, and as usual, we the last to know about it. Well, it's kind of a repercussion. It's kind of a consequence because of
Exactly.
your actions.
Absolutely.
So technically, you are in the know. You just don't realize what you did to
You
fuck up
just,
your good thing.
right.
Right. And so Marvin trying to tell them already, listen, we don't stepped on this packet as long as we could. We already are running on fumes because of what happened at the stash house. Like, we can't step on this no more. And she was like, well, we're gonna just try to have to scrape together some work and keep things going. She sent both of them to go talk to some people about buying off some of their work to keep them going until they
Did
get
we
new
lose
re-up.
Juggernaut?
No, I'm still here.
No,
Oh,
he
okay.
here.
When you get quiet, when he get quiet, I'll be like, hold on.
He here. But
I'm
basically,
here.
it's just her trying to manage the network and trying
Right.
to manage the organization on what needs to happen next, because she's kind of at a loss for words herself. She don't know what needs to happen, but she know that they got to get their hands on some work or they're gonna be dried up. So
Yeah,
she
they're gonna be
sent
dry.
both of them directives on who they need to go talk to, Greasy and this guy, to try to piece together some work while they figure out what's going on with Dean. And Lulu was like, "Look, I gotta get back to the venue." She gave me a look like, and then he cleaned it up. And he's like, "Well, I'll go talk to Greasy first, and then I'll go back to the venue or whatever." And she wasn't trying to hear none of that. But
Right, because I mean, and again, I understand where she's coming from. Like, listen, right now, what you're doing right there is a hobby. Like,
She like,
this
nigga,
is
go handle that
business.
business.
Right, this
well,
is
she told
business,
him,
and
she
not
said, "This is what
only
kept y'all fed right here. This is what keep y'all fed." So
right, and not only is it business, but we in like a crisis. Like, this isn't like
crunch time, yeah.
right, yeah, this isn't like a normal regular. Oh, okay, well, you can handle it when you get a chance. No, we might run out of product. Like, we need you to handle it. Like, what is wrong with you?
Today, yeah, we need a
Yeah,
resolution today. But Marvin tried to tell her, like, "Look, I want to do more, but y'all got me up here in Baisley Heights, kicking down walls and knocking down floors. Like, you ain't even trying to use my talents." And she was like, "Well, I'm glad y'all all can go and have a good time and this and that, while I'm putting out fires and y'all just keep y'all hands warm to the fire." Which I thought that was a very powerful statement she made to them. But she's somewhat resentful to them. But at the same time, neither one of them wants to take on the responsibility of running the organization as she has. So
Right.
sometimes I feel like she's a little resentful towards them about that, because she's having to do so and they're not. What are your thoughts about that? Because she makes little digs at both of them about that, but why is that?
I
go ahead,
think
Mark.
because I think trying to establish, I wouldn't say really establish her dominance, but exercise her dominance. Like, y'all do what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has to constantly reiterate because it's shown that they will get sidetracked.
Good
I
thought.
think, yeah, I think her frustration is more aimed at Lulu in this scenario than Marvin. And
I
only
agree. I
and the
agree.
reason why I say that is because we already know she don't respect Marvin. Like that's not new. She does not respect Marvin, but Lulu is her right hand, and now she feels like Lulu is being distracted and and unreliable. And so now it's like, listen, I can't, like, I already know that Marvin is only good for X, Y, and Z, but Lulu, you my right hand, and now you leaving me hanging. And I really think that's where her biggest frustration in that moment was coming from, was more aimed at Lulu than it was at like both of them.
Big
You know what I mean?
facts. I 100% agree because even Marvin kind of puts 10 on 20 when he comments too. He was like, "Yo, fuck you in your bullshit ass showcase, Lou." And that was just an opportunity for Marvin to take a dig into it as well because, but Lulu Marvin because he took an opportunity to go back at Marvin. Was like, "Well, your daughter's performing at my bullshit showcase, so why don't you
Right.
be a parent and show up for it?" You
Right.
know.
He was like, you don't even, like, you need to pay more attention to your damn daughter, which they've been telling him all along. Poor Jukebox. She really is raising her damn self.
Yeah, she
Like,
is.
she
It should
really
be
is.
instead of the show being called Raising Canaan, it should be Raising Jukebox because poor Jukebox
Right.
is raising herself. You ain't lying. That poor girl got to fend for herself every day.
Crazy.
She got a crazy family too. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
she does.
So you see Marvin come out the door, him and his Newport 100s. He got to light up a Newport 100. And you see, I used to smoke Newport 100. Every time I see that pack, I miss. I wanna have one. So you see Katie come around the corner. He's like, "Yo, Uncle Mar, let me holler at you real quick." And so him and Uncle Mar get in the whip, and they go for a ride. And I guess that's when we see what y'all keep saying. What I keep hearing y'all saying that Marvin and Kanan have a relationship. They're developing a relationship, or their relationship is progressing. Their teamwork. They're working together as a unit per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see Azuma Dean is back at the bingo hall with his grandmother. And
I guess that's just what he does every day.
I guess so. I guess they go to the bingo hall every day, I don't know.
His grandma ear.
Or is it I was trying to figure that out part. Is it every day or is it is a particular day in the week that they go?
Right. Does he have office hours at the bingo hall?
Yeah, does he have office hours?
Then turn this grandma
right.
here.
His working hours are at the bingo hall, obviously.
Right.
So she shows up and there's a new guy at the front. Smurf ain't there. Smurf ain't at the front door. So there's a new guy that frisked her down at the front door. And we already knew what that was getting ready to tell us right there when we seen there was a new guy at the front door that frisked her. And she went back there to see Dean. He turned Grandma hearing aid off. And he didn't even jump to the chase at all with her. He pretty much told her, "Look, our business relationship is ended effective immediately."
Right. I wish you.
Right.
And he was like, he hit her with the "I wish you all the best."
He fired her. Yeah, he fired her. Your services are no longer needed.
But your services are no longer required. I'm
You've
like,
fired.
damn.
Damn, you get fired from the drug game. And
Right.
he said part of for two reasons. First reason was that a competitor of yours, and he was all professional with her ass. He said a competitor of yours offered me 20% to buy your product out, and then I just can't trust you. And it kind of goes back to what Detective Howard was telling Unique about her. Like Rock either don't know the rules or she just don't give a fuck. Because basically, Dean is telling you the same thing. Like what you just did, you fucked up somebody else's life. You fucked up my organization.
You crossed the line.
You crossed the line. Yeah.
And I think I agree with you because I think in her mind, because like she said, can't nobody trust anybody in this game. He was like, yeah, but there's levels to this. And I think that's what like you said, Detective Howard was like, you don't understand. Yeah, there's certain things that are par for the course, but there are other things that's like a gentleman's code.
Exactly.
It's like a gentleman's code that you don't do. Yeah. So
but
yeah.
she being the woman in this scenario, she don't feel like those rules apply to her. And I don't mean it in that sense in a chauvinistic way. What I'm saying is she feels like because she is a woman, she has to move outside of those gray areas, that those rules don't apply to her or whatever the case may be because she didn't agree to these codes. You know, she's not part of the gentleman's club. You know, she's not part of the G code. So, you know, those rules that apply to High Post and, the other dude that was DEF CON, that don't apply to me. They make those arrangements and agreements with you. I didn't. So she feels like the rules don't necessarily apply to her because she didn't agree to them.
Interesting.
So, I mean, that's the only way I can
that.
rationalize her character and how she does these things, because she does these things without no remorse whatsoever. She doesn't even consider there being a possibility of repercussions or consequences. Just like when she gave that man that money for that information, she should have known right then and there that was going to be some consequences for him. And she still had to continue to do business with Dean. How did she think that she was going to walk away from that and unscathed?
Right,
So,
he sure let it be known.
So to me, I feel like it's either her just thinking that these are not my rules, I didn't agree to these terms, or whatever the case may be, and it is what it is, or it's like Detective Howard was 100% on point when he made that comment. It's either she know the rules and she just don't give a fuck, or she just don't know the rules. It's one of the two.
Yeah, that's interesting because I never thought of it from that perspective. So that's definitely a different perspective because my question was going to be, do y'all think that she makes these same moves if she's a man? But you kind of just answered that you don't think she would be making these moves if she were a man.
I agree. And you got to keep in mind she was kind of raised. She wasn't raised up to per se be running a criminal organization. She was raised to be a hustler's hoe, is what you like to call them. Where she
That's
was
my line.
supposed that she was supposed to be supportive to the organization, not running the organization. So
Right.
this is the same thing that we saw with Tasha when she started making moves and trying to be a queen pin and run her own organization. And look how big of a mess she made with the druggy daycare. So I think that, you know, a lot of this is kind of got dumped in her lap where DEF CON went to jail and High Post got killed or whatever the case may be. Her brothers ain't shit. So she had no choice but to step in and keep the family with food on the table. So, you know, a lot of these things, these are lessons that she's learning. And she's in the game. It's part of the game. That's the theme song. It's part of the game that she's learning. And she's learning those hard lessons.
Okay, so that's an interesting thought. Okay,
which requires her to stick and move a little bit more than Unique them, because you can see Unique hasn't made any changes to his situation since we saw this show. We've seen her make several different changes to her situations, from the bodega to the apartments. So, you know, she's constantly having to make adjustments to her organization because ain't none of it smooth running. All of it is full of hiccups.
I also think that if she wasn't a woman and she was a man, she'd probably be dead already, because they would have definitely tried to X her ass out.
I don't think that her gender is keeping her alive. I don't think that's what's keeping her alive. I think that you know, she is feared. I do think that she is feared. She is looked at as a threat per se. They're just trying to figure out the best way to eliminate her threat. And I don't know what it is about DEF CON that we're supposed to think. But, you know, it's the same thing that we're getting with Monet in book 2 with Lorenzo. You know, DEF CON name carry weight. So because she's DEF CON baby mama or whatever the case may be, she got weight on her name. So I think that's what's keeping her, you know, protected per se. You know, and at some point we're going to see her to be a dangerous force to be reckoned with. We're already starting to see that bits and pieces of her, because she is reckless and she does not have any remorse for her decision making. I feel like she will kill anybody. I feel like she will kill one of her brothers if she had to. I don't feel like anybody's safe for her but Kanan. I think Kanan is the only person that is safe for her. And we see that a little bit I'm not gonna say that CP because you're gonna eat me up when I say this, but I feel like it's a little obsessive, a little bit, her relationship with Kanan. But she kind of answered that in a previous episode where she was like, she had him when she was 16. They grew together, and she's had to take care of a baby by herself. So, I guess that she has a strong love for her child bond, but at the same time, she's also a drug dealer. So she's not the typical mother. She's a mother that's also running a criminal organization. So it makes it 10 times worse, her affinity towards her child, because her child is not only her child, but part of her organization as well.
I was going to say, why am I going to say something?
So we see Marvin and Kanan at the gas station, and I'm assuming that we're left to believe that this is outside of town or across town or in the white neighborhood, maybe.
Yeah,
because he made the comment about them giving up the white prices or whatever. So I guess they're trying to come up with a drive-through system at the gas station. I don't understand how this is going to per se work. Did anyone else get a better understanding of how this drive-through system was going to work at the gas station?
Not at all.
I didn't either. I didn't understand that layout.
I mean, shit is coming from Kanan. We ain't gonna understand that till later on.
I guess the only thing I can think of is, put someone at the gas station that will serve people as they come in and out to get gas. That's the only other thing that I can think of.
Right. So are you gonna buy out the gas station? Or are you gonna take it over like y'all did the bodega?
That's
like,
what I was thinking.
Way
that's
I see
what
that
I was
working.
Thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, that they was going to take control of that gas station like they did the bodega. Because the bodega is not a gas station; it's just like a local corner store.
Right.
So I'm assuming that they were going to use that same scenario for the gas station, which is a little odd. Speaking of the bodega, we switched to the bodega, and poor Miss Julia, this is the worst we don't see her. Man, that husband fucked that lady up.
Yeah, she was looking bad.
He put a beating on her, man. That was
he put a real beating on her this time. That lady really
I don't know what she did or said that made him. I don't know what it was. I mean, not that it's her fault, but I'm just saying, I don't know what set him off, but he was mad.
He beat the hell out of her.
But you know what? He probably taking out on her what he can't do to Rock.
I was thinking that too. I was just getting ready to say that. Do you think that her ass beatings or her beatings are a result of her? Because you remember, she was the one who initially suggested to Lulu at some point off camera, of course, that, because you remember Lulu came to Rock with the idea about, I had spoke to this lady at the bodega who said she want to work with us. So do you think she's getting beatings from that because
that might be,
she's brought them into their lives?
Yeah, it could be, because he's not able to. He didn't got in bed with him now, and he's not able to control the situation. Like,
he can't control them.
Right, be like the way he would want to. He's just like, oh shit, I'm stuck now.
So you think he beat her ass on account of that?
Shut up. So I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I think it has to do with that.
I agree. So I agree too. So we see Rock come in, and finally Rock acknowledges it. She had been looking at her all along, and she finally said something to her about it. She was like, you want to talk to my husband? She's like, no, I don't want to talk to your husband. I want to talk to you. You're like, I want to see your cousin. I need to meet with your cousins in Washington Heights. Washington Heights goes back to Power as well. So just picking up a reference.
Okay, but my question is this. When do y'all think that Rock knew who she was?
Well, Rock do her detective work, and a lot of times we don't see that on camera. A lot of times we don't, just like the conversation she had with Scrappy when she was trying to infiltrate Unique's situation. We saw the baseline of that by him getting in the truck with her, but we don't know what the conversation was. So, Rock moves in a little bit of secrecy as well. So, I'm quite sure she's probably done some work on this, some homework on this lady, especially if she's doing business with them like this. She probably done some work on them to find out what's what, to know that she got connections with a drug cartel or whatever. that was probably what gained her interest and allowed her to agree with doing business with them at this bodega. Because ultimately, this was because it kind of takes me back to what I was saying in earlier episodes. They're forming a partnership right now. We just don't know what type of partnership it's going to be, but they are building the basis to what their relationship is getting ready to be. And once that husband is out of the way, we're going to see this lady Julia in a whole different light than what we're seeing her right now. Right now, she's the battered, disheveled, beaten wife. But once they get rid of that Gabriel, we're gonna see this lady in a whole different light, and her and Rock gonna be working together. Watch what I say. Because she was
No,
like,
I agree, but that just hit me off like that just seemed real convenient in that episode that now all of a sudden this woman now she's got connections to a cartel that you can get a whole supply from. It just I'm not saying that it's not. It just
they
like I said, I
mentioned
was
it
watching
before.
it.
They mentioned it before.
Okay, well I missed it then. All right, well
Yeah,
I missed
but
it
it was
then.
vaguely mentioned. It was vaguely mentioned when Lulu was telling them when Lulu first came home and told her about this bodega and these folks wanted to work with her. I think he mentioned it then that they had ties to a drug cartel or whatever the case may be. I remember them having some type of conversation at some point. I don't know if it was that episode where they was getting ready to go into the bodega and they ran into D Wiz and Famous outside. But I remember it coming up in conversation.
Okay,
I
then
do
I missed
remember it
it.
coming up.
Then I
They
missed
didn't
it.
expand on it, but I do remember them vaguely saying something about it.
Okay.
But because she said, "Oh, I had a fall," and then Raquel was like, "No, you had a fall in your husband's fist." And, she's
Right.
charging the battery up a little bit. She was charging the battery up a little bit with the lady, trying to make the lady feel good about herself. Like, look, I ain't here to talk to him. I want to talk to you and about your cousin or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still see the admiration in the lady's eyes when she's talking. She's like, talk to Gabriel. She's like, no, I don't want to talk to Gabriel. And then the fact that the cousin and the husband don't get along, that's just setting the tone right there that they're going to get rid of the husband. Like, it don't seem like nobody liked the husband.
Well,
So
Shit.
the husband's got to go.
Shit.
For real. So we know what's getting ready to happen. And you just see it in her eyes when she agreed to set the meet up. She just like, yeah, I'm finna do this. Now we just need to figure out how to
mm-hmm.
get rid of this husband.
Yeah.
So, we see Bert spinning the block, and she riding around. She catch Jukebox, and you know what, CP? I'll let you break this thing down. Let's see if me and you on the same page. Let's just see me and you on the same page. Go ahead, go with it.
So we see her. She sees Jukebox and Nicole passing out the flyers, and she waits till she's watching them. And Nicole and Jukebox, they're not doing anything overtly sexual, but they are, they're hugging and
Embracing.
smiling and looking at each other all googly eyed. You know how you do. And when Nicole got on the bus to go home, she rolls up on her. And of course, Jukebox being Jukebox is just like, yeah, whatever, cop. I'm not fucking with you. Now I'm paraphrasing. You do a better job of like getting a dialogue. I'm paraphrasing
But
here,
that's
but
basically what she said, yeah.
yeah, but essentially, Lady Cop lets Juke know, like, I know it's more going on between the two of y'all. And I get the impression that she's letting Juke know, listen, I'm gay.
Oh, we
That's
on point.
Yep.
We on
that's
point.
Yep.
We on
that's
point. We on point.
that's
Yep.
what I walked away from. And then now here's where I'm putting 20 on 10.
This is the reaching
And
part
then
right here. This is
and
where
then
she
I
gonna
was
get the
like,
motivation to become
is
a cop.
this what make her become a cop?
We
So
on the
which
same
makes me
page.
feel like, but
Yep.
that
We
makes
on
me
the same.
feel like,
We definitely on the
but that
same page.
but that also makes me feel like there's going to be a bigger relationship between Jukebox and the
And
cop.
Bert. Yep.
Yep. Okay, we was all on the same page.
We're
Okay,
all
cool,
on the same
cool.
page. I do feel like that. I do feel like that lady is hiding her sexuality, and I feel like that lady might be a lesbian too.
Yeah.
A little step further. I'm gonna take it a little step further. Something gonna happen to Nicole. We know something is going to happen to Nicole. Nicole either gonna turn into an addict based off of what happened to her tonight.
Yeah,
She gonna get
yeah.
killed. She gonna OD. Something gonna happen to Nicole. Bert gonna be there for a Jukebox. Bert gonna end up being there for Jukebox, and she gonna pretty much let Jukebox know that it's okay for her to she feels and whatever. that's what's going to be the motivation that's going to take Jukebox to become a cop. Even though we know she's going to be a dirty cop. And I'm not saying that Bert going to be a dirty cop, but what I'm saying is Bert going to be a friend to Jukebox.
Yeah, I understand. It definitely lets me know that their interaction gets deeper.
Yep. They were foreshadowing something bigger.
Yeah, they were laying that foundation.
Because
what
other point would it have been for them to show us interacting with her?
Right.
Jukebox ain't part of the game. She don't sell no drugs. She ain't even part of knowing what's going on in the family business per se, other than what she picks up on. She's not in part of the family business like Kanan is trying to be a part of. So her rolling up on Kanan would have made more sense than her rolling up on Jukebox, because unless she would come to investigate Jukebox about some of the stolen clothes, then that would be a whole different story.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. You broke that down 100%. What I was thinking that we were getting ready to see here. That was the foreshadowing that this Bert lady is going to have a bigger role in Jukebox life than.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Okay, we're on the same page. So we see.
All right.
For what? We agree on something.
We agree on a lot of stuff.
But not like this, though. We agree 100%. So we see Kanan come down. He dressed. He got his little polo sweater on, his little polo shirt. He put a tie on. So he's really excited about going to the showcase.
Is he doing his most? I was laughing when she was like, "What you putting a tie on?" He was like, "My Motown Philly." I remember that phase because I remember me and my friends dressing like that with the sweaters and the ties with the shorts. Remember they used to wear their jean shorts. Man, I remember that. Yeah, took me back. That was a flashback moment.
And he had the outfit together, except for he didn't have the shorts on. He didn't have the
shorts on. Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like they were wearing Doc Martens and not Tim's. I feel like it was Doc Martens.
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't wearing Tim's. No,
and not Timberlands.
Yeah.
But she was like, I like the tie, but I don't know how to tie it. She was like, "This is what this is one of the times I wish I had a man around, or wish." She was trying to drop a little nugget there to see, do you ever miss having your father around or whatever? No, he's like, you can't miss what you ain't never had. So I guess
that's the truth.
So I guess in his eyes, DEFCON was already locked up when he was born. So, the only other male figure that he had in his life, I'm assuming, has been High Post.
Right.
So, and he takes this moment as well to tell her that he approves of Symphony, and that, he think he a good dude and whatever the case may be. And I thought that would have changed her reaction when she met up with him, because I knew that the next time she saw him or talked to him, that was going to be rough. I just didn't know what was going to happen out of it. But I thought that because he was so approving of their relationship, that he was going to, his blessings was going to, be enough to not make her mad at him anymore about it. But she wasn't. He didn't change her mind at all.
Nope, not at all.
So, okay, so here's a bit of a debate I've had with some other people earlier today about this. A lot of people felt like she wasn't getting dressed to go to the showcase, that she was dressing to go see the inspector. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, she was.
Yeah, I agree.
But she ended up going to the showcase, so I feel like she was dressing for the showcase, but just left early to go see the inspector. I don't feel like that outfit she put on was just for the inspector.
It could be a 2-for-1, but she absolutely was dressed up for the inspector. You know what I mean? Because I feel like and the reason why I say that is because I feel like she was overdressed for the showcase.
I kind of felt like that too. I felt like, what she wore wasn't necessarily, but then you got Kanan putting on a tie. You got Lulu pulling up in a limousine. So, they the family that paid for all this. So, at some point you kind of expect for them to kind of be, extra.
But even she said that when she saw Kanan with the tie, she was like, "Yo, you putting a tie on? What kind of affair is this?" So that made me think that she didn't think it was a dressy up event, because she was questioning him with the tie.
So the outfit she put on was for the inspector, is basically what you're saying.
I feel like that, but then a part of me feels like I do, but I do, but then a part of me is like, if you knew you had absolutely no intention of sleeping with him, why did you get dressed up?
Exactly.
Because she had.
But
Cause she could have kept what she had on with over there.
I think
she had to play the part.
She had to paint, play the part of the
to let his guard down.
So he can let his guard down. If she would have walked in there with pants on and with a, he probably would have kind of looked at. Damn, I said alone.
Because he even made a comment about, "I'm so glad you dressed up for me. I like how you dressed." Something to the effect of, "You dressed up for me." Yeah. So you might be right about that, Marvin. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, she had to paint the picture for him to drop his guard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a level of comfort. You think about it. The minute he felt the way he felt, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, "Oh yeah, you dressed up for me." She, pushed his hand off her leg, and that's when she pulled the money out.
But I feel like her and Jessica was dressed alike. I feel like they had the same outfits on. Just one was dressed in black and one was dressed in red. Because when she even stepped up out of the limousine, she had on a short dress and she had the stockings on. But then, I also have to look at the fact that this is the 90s and this is how women dressed back then, when they went out, on a date to a club or whatever, versus how women dress now when they go to a club. Back then, women used to dress up. Because I remember my mom would wear outfits like this when she would go out, just to hang out with her girlfriends. So I remember women dressing like this back then, women were, fashionable when they went out to a nightclub, or whether they were going out to a bar or whatever, they were going to entertain a man or whatever the case may be. This is how they would dress. Because we've seen it in other episodes when she's went to go see Symphony at his house. Look what she would wear over there. She didn't go over there looking like no bum then. So
she was going to see her man. You're supposed to dress up for your man.
Yeah, that's true too.
Oh Lord, not the bonnet. But I see your point.
Didn't have no bonnet on. You're right.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, because I feel like, again,
I'm not saying she put that outfit on especially for the inspector. I feel like that was her outfit for the night, and she just left early to go see the inspector, because otherwise she would have changed her clothes when she got back. Especially given what happened at the whatchamacallit. I felt like she would have went and changed her clothes before she went to the whatchamacallit, but I feel like that was her outfit for the night that she was going to put on. And
could have been.
So we see Lulu and Jessica and Famous, they all roll up to the spot, the showcase, in a limousine. They all fall up out of the limousine. She get out like she first lady of the studio or whatever. I don't know what it is I don't like about her, because she hasn't really done anything, but it's something about her character I just don't like. I don't find her trustworthy.
I was going to say that it's something about her I don't trust. I don't know what it is either. I can't put my finger on it, but when we first met her, I thought she was all sweet and innocent.
I did too.
But that
feeling has since gone, right?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we're on the same page with that. So we see a Unique's homeboy. He seems to be some type of he's more than a worker. He's more than a worker, because this is the same dude that was driving Unique around when they rode up on Davina. And so the fact that he's driving a Jaguar, he's more than just a worker. I guess he's one of the lieutenants in Unique's organization in Scrappy. They pull up, and he pulls the guns. He gets the straps out of the secret compartment. I like how he activated
that paid in full compartment.
Yeah, he got the paid in full compartment. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Turn
dope.
the knob and hit the brakes 2 times.
Yep, turn the knob and hit the brakes 2 times, and then pop open the whatchamacallit, and he got the guns out. So at that point, we still didn't realize that they were on to Scrappy. We kind of already felt like that. This was going too smooth to be true. And so, Unique had told them they were going to go light up the place, but he didn't tell them who the mark was. So, they sitting here trying to figure out how to get into the venue or whatever the case may be. And I guess he probably did give Scrappy a loaded gun, because Scrappy, being a gangster and a thug himself, would have realized that, the gun didn't have no clip in it when he gave it to him. So I feel like the gun had bullets in it, had a magazine in it, had a clip in it. So we see Jukebox back behind stage, Dave like in a little dressing room or whatever, and Nicole comes bringing some ginger ale because she's all nervous. And Famous come back here with the big ass head, and he's just trying to hit on Nicole or whatever. And Jukebox kind of go off on him like, yo, we ain't even rehearsed this song one time. And you're not nervous, and you're not this, and you're not that. And, she runs and locks herself in the bathroom. So she's nervous about going to perform. This is their first time performing, and this crazy that they didn't even do no sound check.
Right.
They didn't do no sound check. They have no kind of rehearsal whatsoever. And I do not like character. Oh my God, I can't wait for him to go. He is so annoying. And listen, whoever that dude was, they had singing an R&B song, they could have kept that.
Listen, I was like, is this supposed to be sexy? Like, what?
Who was he supposed to be? I don't know who he was supposed to be. I don't know who he was supposed to be, but he was terrible. His Gumby was terrible too.
Oh man,
his Gumby was terrible, and he was terrible. He was horrible, dude. Like, well, they could have kept that. Let's see, that was my brother worst scene for the night. And so
that man was like a fake. That man was like a fake Keith Sweat.
That's exactly what he was. I was thinking I'll be sure, but yeah, he was a fake Keith Sweat. So poor Raquel don't have to climb back up these 8 flight of stairs again. She get to the apartment, and the inspector with his old dirty ass. When she opened her purse, we see she had the gat and the money. What she do best,
right?
And old perverted inspector was sitting there waiting on her ass. And he looked at his watch like, yeah, bitch, you better be on time for me. That's the kind of look he had about his face when he looked at his watch. And then he was like, I asked around about you, and turns out you're some kind of drug dealer. So right then and there, he knew that he was getting ready to get paid. He knew that he was getting ready to get paid because she opened her purse and she threw out the money. And then he tried to rub up her thigh. She was like, nah, this is going to be a transactional relationship. And he jumped up and he choked the shit out of her ass. Damn, you about to step her neck.
Neck. He was not happy about that conversation.
Yeah, he was like a serial killer, brutal type shit. And then punched the bitch in the gut. And I'm like, damn. She scratched him across the face and he punched her in the gut. And he get himself together and he started unzipping his pants. And like, do you not see her crawling towards his hammer? Do you not see her?
No, because he was too busy worried about what he thought he was getting ready to get.
Man, she knocked the shit out of him with that goddamn hammer, yo. She clunked the fuck out of him. She did. She clunked the fuck out of him. But it just kind of takes me back to what she was saying in earlier episodes. She told Unique she would never be on her knees for a man. So, now you're not finna rape me, because when he saw that she wasn't going to give it to him willingly, he was going to take it.
He absolutely was.
He was going to take it, and he was going to take it rough. So, and it's like me, you were saying earlier, not only was he going to take it, but she was going to have to continue to give it up.
Right. That's what he thought.
She was going to have to give up money and ass. So,
yep.
So it just proves to us that she's not scared. She's not afraid. She knew what kind of risk she was in when she went there with him. So
right.
She was prepared to deal with the situation one way or another. It just so happened that how she thought she was going to have to deal with the situation, she didn't, because her purse got knocked down, so she wasn't able to get back to the gun. But nevertheless, she dealt with the situation.
Hit him with the hammer.
She hammered his ass up.
She sure did.
She hammered his ass up.
Fucking whack-a-mole. She hit that man across his fucking head.
Yeah, she knocked him the fuck out.
His ass straight down.
Yep, knock him the fuck out. So,
I'm like, I know. He started, squirming his legs like he trying to get his feet underneath him. I'm like, nah, dog, you might as well lay down.
And rest for a minute, because I know you seeing stars right now. Oh, stars, you seeing stars.
Lay down and rest for a minute.
Yeah, lay here and rest for a minute, because I know your dog is killing you right now. So we switch back to the showcase, and famous goofy ass Kanan comes in, and famous goofy ass is talking about how he finna be the man out here and all this bullshit. I'm just so sick of him. And so goes up to the bathroom and try to talk to Jukebox, talk her out of the bathroom. And like you said, CP, we learned a lot from that exchange and that conversation in their relationship. One, we learned that they're only a year apart in age.
Mm-hmm.
Two, we learned that Kanan is somewhat Jukebox is, what do you call that? Safe place, I guess, is what you want to refer to him as, because he seems to be able to calm her when she's upset or
Mm-hmm.
reach her when she's upset. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
they have that that soothing effect on each other, where they can bring comfort to each other when they're in duress. We switch back to the apartment, and Marvin shows up getting ready to do his shift.
Did
And
you
you can see,
see? Did you see that mark on that man's head? That shit was
man,
identical
that
to
man
that
had an imprint of that hammer on his head. What are you talking about? Man had an imprint of that hammer on his head. That man was. I'm surprised he was still alive. At the very least, he should have been unconscious. He was standing there squirming. Yep, like you said, he was laying there squirming. She had tied him up with duct tape. She told him make him feel that shit when he on his way out. And then she told him make him pet food or bird food or
He
something like
said,
that. She
"Make a
said
meal out this
make a
motherfucker."
meal out
Make a
of him. Yep.
meal out of them. Yep.
Yep. She said make a meal out of him. And I'm like, damn, that nigga got a big ass knot on his head. Yeah.
Are you not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. That big ass hammer they got knocked fuck upside his head. But let's talk about what Marvin decides to do with him. So Marvin decides to put him inside the wall and insulate him inside the wall. No lie, no nothing.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they ain't even pouring, like, he didn't put nothing in there. So that shit's going to be
Now, if
smelling
we would
like,
have seen him put some lye on him, okay, I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna try to make it where he's not gonna decomp as quickly as he would without the lye. And I'm assuming that the insulation is going to help keep the smell down as well.
I guess. Ugh.
That's what I'm assuming, because
That
I'm
man
like,
gonna smell like a dead fucking rat in that wall.
Exactly. Ugh.
but yeah, he's going to definitely decompose it. But I guess that was the better to the alternative. I mean, who's gonna drag a dead
He
body
did
all the way
wrap
down
him
each
up.
floor?
No, he wrapped him up in fucking plastic though.
No, well, he had him wrapped up in plastic, and he was insulated. He had insulation from the wall that was in there as well. So I'm assuming that's going to help mask the smell as well. So I don't know. I haven't committed murders and stored dead bodies in row houses before.
Right.
I don't know anything about that.
Right.
I don't know anything about that life.
Then Marvin didn't make it no better. After after Rock that slapped his ass upside his head with the hammer, fucking Marvin put nails in his fucking head.
Yep.
Right.
And that took him on out. That
I
took him
said,
on away from
damn.
here. Yeah, she fucked him up real good. And so but what we also hear in that conversation, Marvin decides to vent to the inspector about his feelings towards the family, about how they don't value him, how they undervalue him, how they think of him as a misfit or whatever the case may be. And he was pretty deep in that wall. So and I don't know what type of wall I don't know what type of spot this was. Was this behind the refrigerator type deal? Like, I don't feel like this is a normal wall in the apartment. I feel like it's an accent wall, or if it's behind something else type wall. You know, I don't. But we learned in that situation that Marvin is frustrated with how the family views him, so he was using the opportunity to have the inspector listen to his frustrations. And then we switch back to the showcase. You know, Rock show up and she just order her vodka soda, and she ain't gonna get a chance to get a drink before a man come up. And she walk off on him. And he come chasing her out the spot. And she finally give him some time. And he was like, let me explain to you what's going on. And she was like, no. She was like, I told you not to get in between me and my son. And that's where you fucked up at. And, you know, it is what it is at this point. And she pretty much broke up with him, and I feel like she just totally overreacted. And she shouldn't have did him like that. Like, dude been good to you and been good to your family. And, you know, you play him like that. She basically tried to imply that because he was fucking her, that he was trying to be, you know, Kanan's dad. And I don't feel like that's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to son him. He wasn't trying to treat Kanan like his son. He did what Kanan asked him to do. and ultimately what she would have asked him to do. So he was like, betray you. He was like, Kanan's a part of you. So, you know, me doing this for him was doing this for you.
Right.
And
Facts.
when she was like, that's it,
Mm-hmm.
that's all. That's basically, it was like what she told him. That's it. That's all. And sent him on his way. He was like, "Fuck this show. Fuck y'all. I'm going on to the house."
Right, right.
I would have
Right.
did the same thing too, though. Like, fuck you
Right.
in this show, man. I'm going on to the house.
Okay, exactly.
And she was finna go on to the house, and then she saw that commotion out front with dude in the maroon suit. Uh, and I don't know what made him so. I guess because of the next few scenes with him. But normally when they put a character in a color like that stands out from the rest of the crowd, means that there's something particular about that character, you know, that we're getting ready to learn or see about the character. We
Well, we
see
see that he's definitely an asshole. Oh my gosh.
or a predator at the very least. He is another predator. He was thirsty for some.
Right.
He was thirsty.
Fucking grabbing on women and shit.
Yeah.
He ain't fucking try to hold no conversation or nothing. He about a fucking arm, talking about what kind of babies they'll make.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Yeah, he was just thirsty. And so we see, you know, Jessica trying to hold her on because when he tried to push up on her, she was like, "I'm Lou girl." And he was like, "So?" And she was like, "Step the fuck off." But I don't know. Normally stuff like this don't bother me in shows, and I guess because it's her character, I don't too much care for. But she was like, "That nigga thirsty, and he need to go over here and talk to them hood rats." I was kind of a little offended there. I'm like, the N word, you know, you're not dark enough to be using this N word. You know, you fit into the minority category because you're Puerto Rican, but your skin not dark enough yet. So you know, you said that nigga with a little bit too much, confidence in your voice.
right.
But we see Rock. She kind of went over there and saw the commotion or whatever. And, you know, her presence alone shut the confrontation down. So that's
Right. Them
what
motherfuckers
kind of
got
goes back to
quiet
what I was
real
saying
quick.
earlier about they know who Rock is. You know, Rock.
But I
her
kind
name
of got a
something.
sense.
Oh yeah,
I
you could
kinda
definitely
got
see the recognition.
during that scene though. I kind of got a sense that Lulu had the whole damn, I got it look on my face. Like, I ain't need your ass to come over here.
He did. He was like, I got this sense. Why you brought your ass over here? Yep. He did have that look on his face. Yep. So that's why I'm gonna call old boy Brooklyn, because I guess that's where he was from. Because, you know, him and Lulu had an exchange about Brooklyn versus Queens. You on the South Side, you might not make it home. Type deal. So that's what we're gonna call old boy Brooklyn. So Brooklyn then try to push up on Jukebox old lady. He tried to push up on her. I'm like, well, damn, he thirsty. And that's when she told him to go over there and lead them hood rats, or go and mess with them hood rats. And then Crown comes up, and he rolling up a blunt and laces the blunt with either some cocaine or some crack. I'm assuming it was crack.
He sprinkled some shit off up in there. And I'm like, the fuck is he doing?
I think it was crack.
Yeah, I think it was.
I thought she was gonna actually partake in that shit at first.
I thought so too, because remember, she offered the little girl a drink, and the girl didn't want to drink. But how do you turn down a drink to smoke a lace blunt? And you just sit here and watch them lace it in front of you. He sat there and sprinkled the shit right there in front of them. You felt like that was you to hit this lace blunt than it is to have this drink that old girl had just offered you.
You should have took that motherfucking drink.
Yeah, you should have took that drink. And he talking about, we about to be real unnecessary up in here, but old girl didn't hit it, did she? Lulu girl. She didn't hit the blunt.
Lulu girl didn't hit it, but Nicole did.
Yeah. And you seen it right then and there. What's getting ready to happen to her? She finna turn into a crackhead, ain't she?
Yeah, when she felt that, you saw the whole look. Oh, whoa.
Yep.
Them eyes.
Well, that because listen,
she finna be geeked up.
Yeah, them things ain't no joke.
And she hit it hard too. She hit it real hard too, so she was in the zone. And so I kind of wanted Jukebox to figure it out. Something was wrong with her when they were taking the bus ride home, because, you know, she was high as hell on the bus ride home. And so we get to the main event. You know, it's time for Famous and Jukebox to go out on the stage. Kanan don't finally talk to her out the bathroom or whatever. Raquel don't got mad and she don't went on to the house or whatever. So, you know, Marvin and Lulu is there. You know, they are in the crowd. And so you see Scrappy and Unique's boy, Warrell, show up, and they were like, "Well, we can't get in the back. We can't get in the front, so we're gonna have to go in the back." So they take the gun, and they go bust the window out in the back, and they climb in the window. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, Scrappy getting ready to eliminate this problem for the family.
Right. Yeah.
They're not gonna even make it into the showcases. Scrappy getting ready to take old boy out right now. I just knew this was getting ready to happen, right? So we see Marvin making his way to the crowd. He see Jukebox get up on the stage or whatever. And so now Famous wants to get nervous. Now your goofy ass want to get nervous, stage fright. So, she told her, especially when he grabbed old boy and was like, who we getting ready to hit? And he still wouldn't tell him. Like, this is your perfect opportunity to take care of him right then and there.
Right.
So we see Jukebox and Famous get out there on the stage. He nervous. He got stage fright. Jukebox is like, kill the beat DJ. And, she kind of, rep for Queens or whatever the case may be. She started singing. And here go Marvin Goofy. That's my child. That's my kid. That's my kid. Now you want to acknowledge her.
Right.
Now you the proud dad watching your child.
Now you want to be a proud daddy.
Right.
Fucking team girl dad. Yay.
Marvin, you would have been a better father than Jukebox. Trust me, we know. You would have been a better father. But Jukebox held her own. She got Famous all hyped up and whatever. And Famous started rapping. But this is where I feel like we get ready to argue a little bit. I feel like he changed lyrics to the song.
He did.
He changed the lyrics to the song. These were not the original lyrics to the song. You saw it all in Kane's face. First of all, you rapping about my life. And when he was like them 4 quarters and them 2 dimes, okay, that was $1.20. Then he started talking about the 2 people that survived the stash house. Then he was talking about D-Wiz. Like, wait a minute, you going way too far. Ain't nobody else pick up on it in that moment other than Kanan, because it was his life. But
right,
you saw that
his story.
You saw that it was his story. But you saw that look in Kanan's face, like, yo, this is a problem.
Yeah.
So what do you think gonna happen? Or am I reading more into that? Because Kanan definitely didn't look like he was pleased with that.
He did.
Nah, he wasn't happy about it at all.
When he was
the
bopping,
commentary,
he stopped
said
bopping.
He was just like, the commentary, like, and there it is. Like,
and that's what these rappers do. Yep.
Like, you couldn't keep to your original rhymes. You had to be something.
In my life. And you put my business on the street. And they had already checked him about that at the bodega. Jukebox had already, because you even see that look of, I'm sorry, bro, on Famous face when he looks down in the crowd at Kanan, when Kanan realizes that I'm rapping about you. And then this dude pushing everybody out the way in the crowd. Ain't nobody see getting ready to pop off. Where the security at?
Oh,
y'all see the dude pushing everybody out the way in the crowd. Y'all don't feel like something getting ready to pop off. And then he sitting here looking all swollen, man. I don't know what y'all doing at this party. But dude waits till he gets up on Lulu to tell Scrappy that, our ops is Lulu. This is his last night breathing. And then I thought Scrappy was getting ready to alert Kanan on what was going on, but he walked right past him. I'm like, you had so many opportunities to take dude out. Like, you missed so many opportunities with that. That was sloppy. And like, I like the fact that he did warn Lulu what was getting ready to happen, and Lulu picked up on it real quick and created a fight. And they fought their way out of the venue, and everybody kind of duck and ran and went their separate ways. But I felt like Scrappy had the ability to take care of this problem for the family, and he did. So what y'all think?
I agree. No, I agree 100%. I felt like there was so many opportunities for Scrappy to do something other than what he did. Even at the end, I felt like there was the better way that he
when he ran out the door.
Yeah, it just doesn't make. I'm with you. It didn't make sense to me. He had opportunities. He definitely had opportunities, and I'm not sure what the hell he was waiting for.
And then the fact that they had built his character up, they had them build his character up, And for him to go out the way he did, I just, that was disappointing for me. This is the first time they've left me disappointed in the episode, because I feel like Scrappy should have been able to take care of this problem for the family, and
Yeah,
instead
because
he became a
he had
meal.
to know what were on to him. So I don't know what I don't know what more information he thought he could have got for Rocks, because he had to know that they were on to him.
And he didn't get a chance to get back to delivering the information. And then everybody just kind of go their separate ways. You got Lulu and Jessica, they fucking in a limousine. You got Marvin pulling up on the corner trying to take
Right.
these
Nobody
niggas.
even checked on Scrap. Like
Nobody
nobody
checked on
made sure he
nobody.
was
Right.
good.
Nobody checked on nobody. This is what irritated me. Nobody checked on anybody. You got Lulu and Jessica fucking in the limousine. You got Famous and some little white girl getting Becky in the bathroom.
Right.
Jukebox and Nicole on the bus on their way home. Kane is at Davina's house getting ready to clap them cheeks.
Wow.
I'm like, ain't nobody checking on nobody. And Marvin pulled up on the corner and was like, taking his workers out to the interstate. I'm like, and then you got Raquel at home smoking her Virginia Slim, thinking about, damn, I don't have a fucked up day.
Right. Like, and again, growing up in the 90s, going to parties, like, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but when me and my friends went to a party, especially if we were outside of our neighborhood, we always had a meetup spot. Like, if shit go down.
If 20 people went, 20 people was coming fucking home.
Exactly. Yep. And that was the rule. Like, when we were going into a party, we were like, listen, this is the meetup spot. If shit go down, this is where we meet up. It was always like a block or two away so that we could get out of harm's way. But if it go down, this is where we meet up. And I'm with you. You saw what went down. You know that Scrappy was, that basically he was compromised, because he had to compromise himself in order to warn Lulu. So he's compromised. Why didn't anybody check on him? Why didn't anybody make sure, like, and again,
or why didn't nobody try to take out Dude? Why ain't nobody trying to take out Dude?
Right. I mean, I put it on Scrap too, because again, he had opportunities, because there's no way in the world that he was supposed to leave that club with him. There's no reason in the world that he was supposed to leave that club with that dude. He was not supposed to leave that club with him. He's supposed to follow Lulu, follow Marvin. I don't give a fuck. Follow anybody except for him.
Right.
That was a missed opportunity. That was a missed opportunity. And I know they want to push the story forward. And I get why they ended up shooting it the way they shot it, and whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, we're getting ready to lose the character anyway, so it doesn't make any sense. But that really should have been written a different way. And I don't know what we're seeing here with Lulu and this girl. I'm sick of Lulu and this girl. I'm tired of her at this point. I guess we're supposed to see where Lulu is falling in love with this girl, and they're going to end up being a couple, or she's going to end up being pregnant by him or something. They're giving us more to this story. Like, she's going to be his Angela, basically, because he is all about this girl. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, like you just said that when we was watching it today, that's what wifey said. She was like, this seemed like a fake ass Angie and Ghost.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the vibe that I'm getting. Like, he is so turned out over this girl. Like, I don't know what's going to make her go away. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out how are we going to get rid of her. Other than the fact, the only way I can see us getting rid of her is if she do decide to do something with Crown. And I just don't see why she would want to do something with his broke ass at this point, because, he's no longer in a position that he can do anything for her,
right.
Because he ain't got no money. And she see that, Lulu is fronting all the bills. So right. I don't see her crossing that line, sleeping with the
I don't see it now. Yeah, definitely. I don't see it now. I saw it at first, but I definitely don't see it now.
So you get to the end of the night, everybody don't have a hell of a night at this point. Kanan is sneaking in, or whatever the case may be. His mama didn't hear him sneaking in, but she heard them gunshots. She jump up on that bed on go, boy. She be on go mode, boy. She be tripping me out. Right. She be running with that gun. She be on go mode.
She grabbed the gun and ran right out there.
She ran right out there, no hesitation.
Right.
Yeah.
And she might have heard Kanan come in, but she knew he was partying. He was out with his friends. She probably was like,
That was less of a big
I'm not
deal
even
to
going.
her.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bust his balls about it. I talked to him in the morning. Like I ain't waking up to fuss with him about that shit. You know what I mean?
And
Right.
what do we see when she opened the door? It's Scrappy laid out there in his drawers, man. They don't torture.
Oh,
They don't torture him. They don't pull one of his eyes out. So I think that was a message that they were trying to send her to sleep with one eye open.
Wasn't it?
No, it was out.
No, his
Like,
eye was swollen. His eye wasn't out. Go back and watch it.
I think his eye was out the socket, out.
No, they whooped his ass. And they shot him. But if you look at it, he was still moving his, and he was
Oh,
still.
God. See what I'm talking about, CP? See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about?
Lord,
This is what I'm
not
talking about.
listen.
See what I'm talking about?
Scrap is dead.
Dead.
Let it
To the
go.
bed.
No, he fucking
Go.
done. Because I don't know how he gonna make it, but I'm just saying, like, he was blinking his eyes and, like, fuck conscious and shit and probably hanging
It's
on
called
to his life.
dead. It's called postmortem.
He is
Dead.
dead.
Okay, we on the same page with Dave. A couple people want to argue with me today. He's still alive. He's still alive. No, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
And if he's not dead, he should be dead because
He's
he look
dying.
bad.
If he's not dead, he's dying. There you go.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have that. No, Scrappy still and Raquel and Kanan gonna tend to him and bring him back to life. No, he's dead. He's gone.
Nah, he too fucked up for that. You have to take him to a hospital.
Yeah. There ain't gonna be no nurse him in the basement type shit and nurse him back together. He's dead.
Well, then again, they never did explain how Kanan ass made it to DC burnt alive. But okay, all right,
Well, they did. I
mean, they did, but it's not believable.
Because he called Jukebox to come and get him. And she came and get him. Now I don't know how long it takes to ride from DC to New York.
Phone? Right, but how did he even? Because this is not like the day of cell phone. I mean, of pay phones. This nigga is burnt to a. I'm not going down that road. That was
burnt his ass. Burnt his ass.
Right.
Overall, what did we think about this week's episode? What do you think what was the biggest thing we learned? The biggest thing that we learned is that Raquel is not going to concede. Because at this point, you would think that Unique has won. He's cut her supply off. She don't have no more weight to move. But you see that she's going to keep on pushing. So what do you think we're going to take away from the next I think we might have 4 episodes left, maybe 3.
Well, the one thing we saw in the previews is that they are definitely at war. If they were tap dancing, right? If they were tap dancing around it, they are at full blown war.
Go mode.
It's go mode now. Now the question is what that go mode is going to look like, but it is definitely go mode.
I agree. All right, Juggernaut. What you think about this week's episode?
Man, I'm
still processing.
This shit was rough. Like, damn. I mean, it's a lot to take. It's a lot to take in. I mean, it's how you said it's getting to the meat and potatoes of the situation. Damn, boy. This one was tough. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think we're going to set the tone for what season 2 is going to be like. But then again, this writer in this writing room does a very good job at closing arcs. They don't really leave a lot of stuff out there dangling. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is within the next 4 episodes, are we going to have a resolution to Detective Howard and his sickness? There's a lot that has to happen in the next 4 episodes.
Right. Because he told the doctor, I'm fucking dying.
So
right, she's talking about something. You don't look well, bitch. You the one that told me I'm dying.
I am.
Right. She said, you don't look well. I'm fucking dying. Like.
And then, we got to figure out this whole scenario with Jukebox, what's getting ready to happen with her and this little girl. There's a lot of things that are going to have to be answered for. Even though we have another season, if they don't want to take a lot of this story into the next season, if they want to start the next season off and we're going to get introduced to Ghost and Tommy's characters, then they have a lot of things that they're going to have to close the door on. for this season in order for them to move towards that storytelling. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these next 4 episodes go, because they're going to turn it up. But overall, I'm still pleased with the show. I think it's great. One of the best versions of Power I think that we're going to get. Not looking forward to book 2 in November, but it's part of the Power universe, so I guess I'll continue to watch it. Can't wait for
BMF?
Tariq to die. Now that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to the BMF, but I can't wait for Tariq to die. If Tariq dies and they want to keep book 2 going, then it'll probably be a better show. But
oh wow.
Damn,
well, they got rid of
bro.
Tasha. They got rid of Tasha. The show's still going, so we can get rid of Tariq, and the show can keep going with new other characters. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up this week, unless anyone else got anything they want to touch on this week's episode.
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Well, shout out to our co-host D Jackson. He wasn't able to be on with us tonight, but you know he always has his little twists and turns, so I'm sure he'll have a long list for us next week when he come back. But as always, you can find me on Instagram at RetroCG. You can also find the podcast at TSF Entertainment on Instagram. Juggernaut, can we find you at?
IG at Juggernaut_of_souls. You can find me on YouTube at Juggernaut Space of Souls. Just dropped that lightning review today, man. It's doing pretty good numbers for a few hours. I got a couple of more reviews I'm dropping this week, man. The Yeezys, the Off-White Dunks. So it's a work in progress, man. Consistency is key.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
CP, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Instagram you can find me on Instagram too, but you can find me on YouTube at ReallyBTV, and you can find me on Instagram at ReallyBTV_ on YouTube. And
as always, you guys can send us any emails to info@tsfentertainment.com, and we will try to answer any of your questions that we get through our DMs or through emails on the show. And of course, if anyone wants to be part of our show, please hit any of us up, and we'll be more than happy to have you on as a guest. All right, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
We out of here.
Peace.
All right, we out of here. So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app and go to Anchor FM to get started.
You are now listening to TSF Entertainment Podcast.